So today we're discussing BBL, that's the Brazilian butt lift. So according to a report that we got, a 36-year-old Nigerian woman identified as Abiola has been confirmed dead while undergoing the Brazilian butt lift BBL surgery at a clinic in Lekki, Lagos State. This is one of too many deaths that has been recorded over time. So the question is it not I don't want to say is it worth it, because the truth is that many people do these things. But I think the real question is, can these doctors be held accountable for the negligence that occurs during these procedures? And also, is it worth the risk, I would say, especially where you know that there's no guarantee that you might get a successful procedure? And why we have lots of young ladies suddenly beginning to look for this option to enhance their body parts. That's the conversation this morning, because the truth is many people are considering, some have considered, some have gone under the knife. And I mean, I would even say that I know quite a number of people that are ready to go to surgeries for different things. Even I have expressed my interest in considering some procedures for certain parts, because we all have things. I mean, I have scars over my body, and I feel that, okay, I want to smoothen out this region. It looks there's so many accidented parts. So I'd like to do some surgery to lift some things here and cover, so just smoothing it out a bit so I can wear shorts comfortably. So these are decisions people take, cosmetic decisions, and we shouldn't be judging people because of that. But however, in this part of the world, we're still having issues of negligence, people of medical malpractice, the fact that some people are not even being brought to book when this happens. So is it worth it? Is it worth the risk? That's the conversation. You can call us on 081 0764 1679, 09024163440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. Who'd like to start with?
Okay, people will want what they want, and there's nothing we can do about it. However, how do they go about what they want so that we don't have stories like this? But whether they go about it judiciously, making all the inquiries, mistakes will happen, because this is a new procedure in this part of the world, right? Everything has this time frame within which it evolves and gets better. A few years back, one of our president's wife went for one of these procedures. Then it wasn't even in this country. And she died as a result of it. So even in the so-called abroad, these things happen because this is new science. This is, something that a lot of research is still being developed to aid things like this. And it's going to take a very long time for us to get to a space where people are doing it like you walk in and you walk out. It's going to take a while because a lot of things are still being put in place. And Nigeria, knowing how we are medically, we have a lot of fantastic doctors in this part of the world, but we are still not there yet, especially when it comes to infrastructure and some things that need to be put in place. So we don't know exactly what happened in this case. There may be some things that are missing, the person who conducted the surgery. So we don't know if they had finished the surgery before the accident happened, the misinjection happened, or they were just prepping to go into the surgery. We don't have all of these details, because the details would have helped us understand exactly what happened. If it was a wrong injection that was given, or the fact that the procedure now had complications, those will help us understand, because data is very important as we are evolving and developing. And a lot of people are saving money to go and do some of these procedures. We all have our insecurities in one way or the other. Some people take through exercises to see how they can, take off some of those things that is needed in their body, which takes a very long time that many people do not have. Some people say, okay, I have the money I can't do this, your gym stress, where I'm constantly living in the gym. I have the money to be able to do this. But we must begin to ask the right question. So I know of certain people who, in their clinic, and this is also where government needs to start holding some of these clinics accountable. What examinations do you do for your clients to ascertain that they are healthy enough to go through preliminaries, to go through this injection? When we watch all this procedure, when we watch all of these, there's this stuff they show on TV, I think it's botched or something, where when you come in, you are assessed to be sure that your body can take the procedure you want to. Sometimes they send people back. Have we gotten to that point as Nigerians where we can send somebody back that, madam, with your health condition, we can't do this procedure on you, and we're not greedy to collect the money and hope that Jesus will help us, you know, make it safe and, you know?
Let me come to you, BC or Barbara.
Okay. So, so this particular story, there's a dichotomy. I'm trying not to use these words. There's a difference. You know, there are two things. There's a duality in this conversation, right, that I don't like us to mix, because when people talk about body image and they say, oh, you should be confident in who you are, the person that you are, you don't need these surgeries, you don't need these enhancements, you don't need this help. For me, it also takes away from holding people, those in charge of giving this treatment, accountable for some of their negligence, for a lot of the negligence that's happening. And so when you find yourself deciding to take such a step, if anything wrong happens with the person that is administering that treatment, there isn't you know, nobody wants to really push for justice because you deserved it. Do you understand? So I want us, when we have these conversations, the malpractice conversation is very separate from the body image conversation. That someone is treated badly or is not given the right treatment is not punishment for daring to have that treatment. So if we can put that aside. So on one end, I will talk about body image. I recently read a book called Only Big Bum Bum Matters Tomorrow. And for me, it was eye-opening because, you know, I'm an adult now, I have my children, I'm quite confident in the body that I have. And I did not realize some of the struggles that young people are going through. And for me, that book was able to let me understand that these are the things that young people are dealing with. And then it reminded me of the things that we dealt with. So when we were growing up, we dealt with being skinny. You know, everybody in Hollywood or whatever that was on our screen, they were all skinny and they looked, you know, the Oyinbo look. And every black woman with her hips and her chest wanted to fit into that mold. So those were the things that we dealt with. So you over-dieted, you starved yourself, and, you know, and we were taught about body image. Over the years, we grew, we became confident. Now, these young girls are dealing with having this body type. That is what they are dealing with. This particular book talks about how a young girl was waiting, you know, on her dad had died and was waiting on her inheritance so she could use it to get this body part. And for her, it would mean a change in her whole life. For her, that body part would mean her becoming, you know, all that she wanted to become, earning and being successful. That's what a lot of people have put to this body part. So there's that conversation we need to have with young people to understand that your body is beyond this part and you can achieve all that you can achieve and you are beautiful just the way you are. And these things are so transient. Today they are in, tomorrow they are out.
I hate to point you, Mara, because I'll probably come to camera too, but let me stay on you for a second because the truth is that it sells. That thing, so as much as it'd be nice for us to say, that figure sells. We've seen people who have actually gone out of their way, get this big money, done this thing, and we've seen the difference in their careers.
Yes. Sure.
So now, who do we address? The producers or the employers of these body figures, or the mindset of the people doing it? Who do we address? Who do we help? Is it the producers? No, guys, this is accept people the way they are. Or do we address the mindset? I mean, when I'm saying the employers, people who are accepting the services of these
no,
physically attractive.
That's the thing. That's the world for you. There's always a market for something. I'm now talking to the person who, you know, is growing up and trying to make decisions for themselves, and I'm telling them right now that these things do not necessarily, you know, make or mar you. Sometimes you do these things. We hear the stories of those who have made something from it. How about the stories of those who haven't? How about the stories of those who did it and realized nothing has changed, you know? So for me, it's for the young girl, specifically because I read this book, for the young girl out there thinking, I have to put all my monies together to do this. And sometimes I think it's unfair. Some of these people who have been able to raise the money to do this sort of to have this sort of treatment have also put in a lot of work in who they are, in their skills, what they're doing, and have added it. But I'm saying you don't need to be this particular mold. Okay. But now that's on body image. Now to the treatment itself.
I'll come back.
There is a market.
I'll come back to treatment for a second. Let me come to you, Ramati. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, okay. So from what you asked the question, and I'll tell you that it's better to deal with people who have that mindset. First of all, because number one, I feel you have to be content with who you are and the way you look. Personally, there was a time I felt that I don't have a big backside, and everything, and I was like, me too, I may think of doing the surgery and everything. But when I read up about
you cover now. When you do it, you not cover.
No, but when you cover, it to come out somehow.
Okay. Oh wow.
To come out. So I exercised, I did squatting, I did everything for 2 years. But instead, in fact, because I was burning fat, I shared the place now, it was fat that was plenty there. So it was going down and everything. So I was not even getting the shape that I wanted. So I started thinking of this BBL. But when I went online and I read about it, I realized that the success rate is 50-50. Now, one of the reasons why a lot of people go into this is some people tell you that it's self-love, it's something you want to improve yourself and all of that. Fine. But I'm thinking that, do you love yourself that much that you read about something and then they'll tell you there's a 50-50 chance of you surviving it? Will you still go? Is that love? Do you love yourself that much to still want to go for it? Because when you go for it, you may survive it, you may not come out of it.
Ramatsu, can I stay with you for a second? Because when you have malaria, when you're ill, you go to the hospital, there's a 50% chance that the nurse might give you the wrong injection. But you have that trust that you go in there, you expect them to know what they're doing. So sometimes when you're sick, when malaria is too much of a regular ailment, but there's sometimes you go to the hospital, you're not even sure if this doctor that is talking to you knows what he's doing, and you're just hoping. Yeah. So sometimes it's easier about...
Sorry, Moran, I'm cutting you off. I think we need to be careful, so that we put out the facts. With this surgery, all surgeons say it's high risk.
Yes.
There's some surgeries they'll tell you. There was a time I had a major surgery. I had, growth taken out. And I remember the doctor saying to me that it is riskier to drive from Lagos to Ibadan than to do this surgery, madam. So stop feeling... But I've heard many professionals say about these sorts of surgeries as being high risk. Yeah. You sign you actually sign an undertaking saying whatever happens, blah, blah, blah. And some people are willing to take that risk, just to put it out there. So people understand that it's not a walk in the park. It's not I go in and I come out. Maybe we'll get there eventually, but the way it is now, this is it. Now, secondly, the second risk is doing it here in Nigeria, where I was going to go, which is I find that a lot of people are licensed sort of to do this in Nigeria. I went to Korea and I learned something and I got a certificate in Korea. But when you come back with that certificate, what board in Nigeria certifies that you are qualified to practice this on Nigerian citizens? For us in Nigeria, we're just so excited that this person went to this country, went to that country, went to Turkey and has it and is able to do it. In America and the UK, the people who live there and don't do it there, the reason they leave those countries to go to places like Turkey is because they say, and there's one other, Tijuana or wherever that they go, and it's because they're cheaper there. But they will tell you that the risk is higher there because there's also the after-treatment thing that you're supposed to get, which they do not do so well for them. So this is high risk, let's put it out there. And then when there are malpractices, what exactly do we do to these people to sort of serve as a deterrent to anyone who is not properly qualified, who is a quack, who is just there to get as much money, to stop them from doing it and protect Nigerian citizens? That's why I was saying that my fear for Nigerian citizens, especially those doing it here, is that because many Nigerians feel, why should you be doing it in the first place? They do not care that the people that are carrying this in are not qualified to do it. And so they are getting away with killing people and mutilating people because we are not going to push for justice.
These procedures are cheaper in Nigeria because many Nigerians abroad come here procedure because it's so expensive. Insurance company will pay you pay through your nose. So here it's cheaper. So they look for these qualified doctors. Okay, let me come and do it. But I was going to address what Ramatu said, and maybe BC can help us because when you look at someone like me, let me use myself as an example. For many years, I've carried a lot of my scars. I've pouches on my thighs because obviously there's residue from my accident and everything. And I've always owned those things. For me, I was proud and confident, that's who I am. And But I'm getting to a phase in my life when I feel, okay, I have worn those things confidently. I have shown my scars. The whole Nigeria knows that you had an accident. It's time for you. I am at a level that I want to, resculpt those places. I want to, and I want to do that. So I don't want to be accused and say, Mariah, are you weighing the options? Do you really love yourself enough to be sure that you are going under the knife? Are you choosing right? Because I want to have that conversation. I want to have that procedure.
Yeah.
So now, what kind of fear? So as a person, as a Nigerian, I'm trusting that a company that I go to, they would actually do the right thing for me. So my worry is that I am not protected. Just like you said earlier, that because it's the kind of procedure I'm going to do, does the law protect me to be sure that this person that I'm going to does not put my life in danger, such that it be a different matter?
Yeah. So I agree with Miriam, absolutely. We just focus on who send them. Maybe they have money. Maybe they are doing this. They want to go and do a show. That's why they are doing something like this. And then we take away from, holding people accountable. So this is where the government should come in, where everybody and unfortunately, I think the clinics that they do some of these things, they look like houses. You won't even know that something is happening there. Like the ones I have seen around the island, you won't even know something's happening there. And I'm asking, is the government aware that so and so is happening in this place? And how do we start holding these people accountable if government in the first place does not know that this person came back from Obodo Ibo and set up a business like this in the first place? So this is also where we Nigerians should start holding ourselves accountable by calling the attention of which body should be in charge of something like this. Are we going to the commissions that handle the health issues in Nigeria to come and investigate to be sure that this person is actually qualified, check their certificates and all of that, so that if there's a mistake, it goes, into data normally as this person is qualified, but this is a mistake that was done by oversight or whatever it is that it is. That's one way that we can hold, that government can help the people who are desiring some of these things. We cannot stop people from desiring what they desire, because this is also one of the ways that some of these medical achievements that we have in the world came about. Somebody sat down and said, no, instead of opening the brain for surgery, we can use laser. And they did experiments, and I'm sure a lot of people died before they were able to get the right treatment. So this is also something that beauty sells. Well, let's not deceive ourselves. Yes. It sells all, you have a call?
No,
it sells, okay, yeah, it sells all over the world. And we will be deceiving ourselves and our young ones if we want them to ignore the fact that beauty sells. Unfortunately for them, they came into a world where it's all about appearance. That's the world that we're in now. So while you're teaching them to own it, have confidence and all of that, do not ignore the fact that they're going out there, they're having influences, they're meeting people, and they may change their mind tomorrow and say, okay, I just want to be about appearance. Okay. Let's protect them.
Let me go on a short break, because I'd like us to touch on the moral code. And stay with us, we'll be right back.